Welcome to the second edition of Bhopal Design Festival, hosted and curated by Jagran School of Design, Jagran Lakecity University, Bhopal. I, Yashika Manglani, in conversation with a renowned architect and educator, Architect Pritam Lenka. Hello sir, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
So sir, as you are a seasoned architect, your practical journey from of the architecture and then a significant shift to the academia. How did you manage it, and what was the inspiration for it? And then how do you manage it in the inspiration? How do you take the inspiration for your teaching approach?
Okay. So, I graduated in 2007. So, from 2007 till 2012, I was into practice, but things changed when I did my masters. So, there was a lot of gap that happened in the industry, and what was happening in maybe if I'm correct, in the Western world. So, there's a lot of computational thing that was coming into the picture, which the Indian building industry was not really using at that period of a time. So, I thought let's just experiment, let's just see that what is happening in the field, and let's try to implement it directly into the education or the academia. So, academia happened by chance, and then I found out that okay, this is where I can actually inspire the young minds to get into the field and try something which was very new at that time, and right now it's very common. So that's how the field from industry to academia changed.
So sir, as we can see the increasing use of technology in architecture, so how do you think computational design plays the pivotal role in taking inspiration from nature?
Okay. So, nature is very complex. Probably it's one of the most complex things around us, and it's difficult to break down the nature into simple things. But yeah, a computer and more or less the computational technology, they have at least given us a chance to decode it in a more easier way than what we used to think about it. So that's the basic principle. So, let's say 50 years down the line, when we were thinking that it is impossible to, let's say, design a building which was of a shape which was more curvilinear and not straight and breaking the norms. Today it is possible because at least the computational thinking and technology can break and inspire the designers to make these complex things more and more simpler. So that at least the person who is building it can make it more easily. So that's how it's a big challenge for us, that what is computational thinking and computational design doing, and how we can implement it to make our lives more better.
So sir, how do you, since computational design has multiple possibilities, so how do you manage and strike the correct balance between aesthetic innovation and then the functional design in your architectural models?
Okay. So, it's always a debate. It's a debate that happens between that, okay, computational design is not more about aesthetics. The aesthetics is a part of something which is more art, more human. So that's the reason why it's very difficult balance that, because once you say that you are a computational designer, there is a general perception that happens, okay, he is more into the software part of it, and he or she will not understand the aesthetic part of it.
Yeah, right.
So, the thing that we do is we go back and forth. So, when we have a computational design process that is going on, so we try to make physical models. The workshop that I did was also based on the same thing. So, we do physical models and test it that, okay, this is what is happening. So, when you have a touch and feel of things, then as a designer, you have more, you can suggest more aesthetics to it. Like people say that, okay, right now the buzzword is AI. So, AI can do a lot of things, but it doesn't have the human touch, or it doesn't have the empathy. So, that's the same thing that happens with computational design. So, until and unless we break it down, physically feel it, then only we can have that balance between aesthetics and what is happening in the efficiency part.
Yeah. So, sir, in your work, how do you merge the computational design and the urgent call for the decolonizing design?
Okay. Okay. What was happening, let's say, before the computational design came into picture, was there were like master architects or master designers. So these designers, to a certain point of time, or let's say this group of designers, they were like the self creators, or they said that okay, this is what we are designing, and everybody has to follow it. So that happened also earlier when we had the Bauhaus school that came up. So they have a field of thought. So when computational design came into the picture, so it broke that, what do you call it? We can call it as a lobby, we can call it as that thought process, but it started breaking it, because now what happened is people, the person who is next to the designer, he or she also has some kind of contribution. So it's not that the designer becomes the self creator. So there is a lot of people who were involved, and they thought that they were secondary. So because of these computational techniques, they started becoming more and more important. So previously there was somebody who used to sketch, but then whether that sketch could become a possibility, so there's somebody who can really do it, and through computational technology. So that is where the barrier was broken, and people started also getting into new careers of design. So let's say we call them as the BIM, or the Building Information Model Architect. So this group was these careers were not present at some point of a time. So because of computational technology, these kind of careers came into picture. So people started working not only on building, but also on the software part of it. So like Adobe, Rhino, and all those softwares that generally people use in our field. So they also need architects to understand that what is the requirement of the architect to run the software. So new careers came into picture. It was not only that there is a master architect who will dictate the terms of the design, and suddenly there were more designers who were who had that logical thinking, and because of the computational technology, they could build it in a much more logical way. So they also came into picture. So because of computational technology, the whole scenario of designers changed. So that's from
Thank
my
you, sir,
side.
for your wonderful insights. It was great having you with us. With camera person Sanya Mehta, this is Yashika Manglani. For more such interactive sessions, keep watching Lakecity Live.